Perang melawan narkoba itulah slogan utama dari pemerintahan Presiden Rodrigo Duterte di Filipina sejak tahun 2016. Kebijakan ini membawa pujian, kecaman, dan serta pertanyaan besar. Benarkah ini demi keamanan atau justru melanggar hak asasi manusia?
Some even long for prison just to escape death. During his electoral campaign, the new president promised to slaughter drug addicts. And he's kept his promise. 3,700 drug traffickers and users have been killed since he took office. Frans van Kat has investigated the macabre drugs crackdown by a president...
Which means to say, Father, Monsignor, Bishop, which means to say, marami pang patayan. Kasi lumalaban talaga yan. Which means to say, Father, Monsignor.
Globalisasi membawa berbagai tekanan baru, salah satunya meningkatnya peredaran narkoba di negara berkembang. Di Filipina, Presiden Duterte memilih pendekatan yang tegas. Sejak tahun 2016, operasi anti narkoba diluncurkan secara masif, dengan korban jiwa yang jumlahnya tidak sedikit dan kebanyakan berasal dari kalangan masyarakat miskin. Duterte menyebut narkoba sebagai ancaman serius bagi negara dan memberikan kewenangan besar kepada kepolisian untuk bertindak. Dari sinilah kebijakan kontroversial ini bermula. Keras tapi tetap mendapat dukungan dari sebagian masyarakat.
Certainly shows to us the scope and the sweep of the human rights violations in the Philippines since 2016 when President Duterte won the presidency. The drug war campaign, which has killed thousands and thousands of Filipinos, have taken center stage in this situation, but also the attacks on activists, on leftists, have also been highlighted in the past several years, and we think that this go hand in hand. We think that this shows to you, this general disregard for human rights and due process by the Philippine government at this time. So yeah, it's been a very, very grim picture in the past 5 years under the president.
Apa saja aktor dalam kebijakan ini? Pertama, Presiden Duterte sebagai penggagas utama yang mengampanyekan peran narkoba sebagai penyelamat bangsa. Kedua, Kepolisian Nasional Filipina sebagai pelaksana. Mereka menjalankan metode tokhang, mengetuk pintu rumah warga dan meminta menyerah, yang sering berakhir dengan kematian. Ketiga, rakyat. Kalangan bawah justru banyak mendukung, merasa kampung mereka jadi lebih aman. Namun, tak semua setuju. Aktivis HAM, keluarga korban, dan organisasi internasional seperti Human Rights Watch mengecam praktik pembunuhan di luar hukum.
Killing. This man, an alleged drug user, is one of 8,000 casualties of President Duterte's drug war, which began last July. Adding to human rights concerns are allegations that Duterte ordered the killing of more than just drug criminals in his past role as mayor of Davao City. Guarded at a safe house, Arthur Las Cañas, a retired policeman and former member of the so-called Davao Death Squad, says he was paid $60,000 to take out June Pala, a media personality and opponent of Duterte.
So I accepted the contract for a hit job against June Pala. I got the bonus from Mayor Rodrigo Duterte personally at the residence of his girlfriend.
Las Cañas says it is the memory of his team killing the innocent family of a suspected kidnapper that drove him to testify to the Senate last month.
We stripped the body of all this their clothing and then we dumped it to this common waste, clothing the child, this pregnant woman. So it flashes back to my memory. It haunts me.
Despite the death toll of the drug war and a growing number of allegations of former criminality, Duterte remains popular, enjoying 83% approval ratings in the last quarter of 2016. Talk to people on the streets of Manila and they'll tell you they feel safer, and most attribute that to the president. Here at a Duterte rally in the capital, few had sympathy for the urban poor who have largely been the victims of the extrajudicial killings.
We love what our president is doing, because they are criminals and they are going to destroy our children, our grandchildren, and the future generation.
Policy analysts say the public approval for the president is a reflection of the failings of Filipino justice.
The whole judicial system has failed to deliver on the basic promise of law and order, so now you have people desperately hanging onto an alternative.
For many Filipinos, Duterte represents that alternative. And unless popular opinion changes, it seems likely that there'll be plenty more killings in the slums of Manila.
Strategi Duterte sederhana namun penuh dengan kontroversial. Membuat isu narkoba menjadi ancaman keamanan nasional dan membenarkan tindakan yang luar biasa. Polisi menjalankan operasi Tokang dan operasi Baigus. Di balik operasi ini banyak terjadinya pelanggaran. Tantangannya, dari dalam, polisi menghadapi masalah korupsi dan lemahnya pengawasan. Dan dari luar, tekanan HAM dan kritik internasional terus meningkat. Duterte sendiri menghadapi dilema antara menjaga dukungan publik dan juga menjaga citra Filipina di mata dunia.
Perang melawan narkoba itulah slogan utama dari pemerintahan Presiden Rodrigo Duterte di Filipina sejak tahun 2016. Kebijakan ini membawa pujian, kecaman, dan serta pertanyaan besar. Benarkah ini demi keamanan atau justru melanggar hak asasi manusia?
Ini Rodrigo Duterte, mantan presiden Filipina yang juga ayah wakil presiden Filipina, Sara Duterte. Duterte ditangkap polisi di Bandara Internasional Manila, Filipina pada Selasa 11 Maret dan tiba di Bandar Udara Den Haag, Rotterdam, Belanda pada Rabu 12 Maret sore waktu setempat. Penangkapan Duterte sendiri berkaitan dengan penyelidikan yang digelar Mahkamah Pidana Internasional atau ICC mengenai dugaan kejahatan terhadap kemanusiaan dalam operasi anti narkoba Filipina yang terjadi selama kepemimpinan Duterte dari 1 November 2011 saat ia menjabat wali kota Davao hingga 16 Maret 2019. Pemerintah Filipina memperkirakan jumlah korban perang narkoba Duterte mencapai setidaknya 6.200 orang. Namun, jaksa ICC memperkirakan angkanya jauh lebih tinggi hingga 30.000 orang. Kelompok pembela HAM melaporkan bahwa selama periode itu ribuan pengguna narkoba dan pedagang kecil tewas dibunuh secara misterius oleh penyerang tak dikenal.
Respons internasional keras, PBB, Amnesty, dan ICC mengancam pelanggaran HAM. Dalam negeri, keluarga korban terus menuntut keadilan. Secara angka, ada keberhasilan penangkapan, tapi tidak ada bukti kuat bahwa kriminalitas benar-benar menurun. Dengan pelanggaran HAM, reputasi Filipina rusak. Kebijakan ini mungkin berhasil jangka pendek, tapi gagal menyelesaikan akar masalah narkoba. Respons
immediate congressional action on several impeachment complaints against Philippine Vice President Sara Duterte. This report from Vivian Gulia.
Movers and supporters of the impeachment complaints filed against Vice President Sara Duterte gathered Friday morning near the EDSA People Power Monument to urge Congress to act on the complaints filed last December. Organizers estimate around 10,000 people attended the rally, but police say only 4,000 joined the event as of 11 a.m. Attendees occupied 2 lanes of the White Plains Avenue.
Anong petsa na? Dumaan ang Pasko, ang bagong taon, natapos pati Chinese New Year, pero hanggang ngayon, ang ating impeachment complaint ay natutulog pa rin sa Office of the Secretary General.
Among the groups that participated in the rally are Akbayan, Magdalo, Indig Pilipinas, and the family of victims in the Duterte administration's drug war. Most of them wore white shirts and carried placards and banners demanding the removal of the vice president over her alleged misuse of confidential funds, an allegation Duterte previously denied. Over 400 policemen were deployed to ensure peace and order during the rally. QCPD Station 8 Commander, Police Lieutenant Colonel Angelito De Juan said the rally was generally peaceful and no untoward incident was reported. Light rains prompted some rallyists to leave before the program ended around noon.
Perang melawan narkoba di era Duterte menunjukkan bahwa keamanan dan hak asasi manusia tidak bisa dipisahkan. Jika keduanya tak seimbang, maka kekuasaan negara bisa berubah menjadi ancaman bagi rakyatnya sendiri. Kita harus belajar dari Filipina. Keamanan tak boleh dibangun di atas ketakutan. Dunia membutuhkan pendekatan yang lebih manusiawi.